This is a step-by-step walkthrough and everything you need to know for Amazon FBA versus FBM. That's going to show you the pros and cons of each, what types of products sell best for each fulfillment type, what supplies you need, how to calculate shipping costs, and how to list products for both. Let's get right into it. So to start off, guys, what actually are FBA and FBM? FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, which is the most popular way to sell products on Amazon, shipping your products off in bulk to the Amazon FBA warehouse where they handle the rest, the customer service, fulfilling the individual orders, the picking, packing, and shipping, everything like that. This is the most popular. Amazon FBM stands for Fulfillment by Merchant, which is shipping products directly to the customers individually. The big pros of selling products on Amazon FBA are going to be that it's much easier to scale because it's a lot more like hands-off basically, because you can ship the products off in bulk to the Amazon warehouse and then they handle the rest. Also, Amazon wants you to sell products FBA because when you do FBM, you ship the products off directly to the customer and you pay individual shipping costs, but you don't pay those Amazon FBA fees. When you do Amazon FBA, you do pay the FBA fees, so Amazon makes more and you don't pay that individual shipping that goes to USPS or UPS. Therefore, Amazon wants you to do FBA so that they incentivize you to do that by giving you faster sales at higher prices. It's also just a better customer experience for a customer to buy something from you via FBA, which is going to have that Amazon Prime badge specifically right there. So Amazon incentivizes FBA in the buy box more, especially on items that are under 20 bucks. They tend to be a lot more cheaper and profitable to go ahead and do FBA comparatively. And pretty much every item is going to be able to be sold via Amazon FBA. Not every item is going to be able to be sold via Amazon FBM. We're going to talk about it in a sec though. The cons of FBA is that you have to wait 1 to 3 weeks for the products to actually get to Amazon via check-in times. Therefore, you get slower feedback on your purchases. And you have to buy more of each product because you have to justify sending off, a box or multiple boxes, for example, to FBA. Meanwhile, with FBM, you can test a little bit lighter. The big pros of Merchant Fulfilled is that it's better for beginners because you actually get to learn quicker and you can test smaller quantities of stuff. You can literally buy one of stuff for FBM, for example. You also get faster cash flow and learning because with an online arbitrage purchase for FBA, it's going to take 3 to 7 days to get to you from the retailer. And then it's typically going to take 1 to 2, maybe 3 weeks to actually check into the FBA warehouse. So you just get a lot slower feedback. Meanwhile, with Merchant Fulfilled, you can get sales right when you go ahead and list it, especially as a beginner, right? And you can also restock products faster, which is huge, especially during Q4. Merchant Fulfilled tends to make the most sense for seasonal products or just big times of demand throughout the year, like Q4, which is coming up right now, or back to school, or Halloween products during Halloween, Easter products during Easter, for example, where you want to get as many sales as possible during a certain time frame, and you don't have time for them to actually check into FBA. Items that are above 20 bucks but below £1.10 to FBM, super nice as well. I'm gonna show you guys how to calculate all that as well. The cons of FBM are that it's harder to scale, it takes more time to fulfill each order, and not every item is going to be FBM friendly. When they make sense specifically, so FBA dominates the buy box industry-wide between January to October. FBM dominates November and December, especially December specifically right there. So what a lot of people will mainly do is they'll almost only do FBA outside of certain cases, seasonally throughout the year between January to October, even mid-November, late November. And then during December, we hit FBM super, super hard. During Q4, less FBA shipments are going in due to just timing and check-in times, for example. So now FBM gets a lot more of the buy box. And remember, guys, you can FBM and FBA at the same time on the same account, even on the specific product at the same time too. So you don't have to just pick one. All right, guys, so how do you actually tell what's a good product for FBM and what's a good product for FBA specifically? So I just want to make it clear, pretty much everything is going to be FBA friendly specifically because Amazon wants to give the buy box to FBA sellers. Not every item is going to be FBM friendly. And the way you're going to tell that as a beginner is just looking if other people are FBMing a specific product right here. So for example, you want to go into your SellerAmp settings here with the SellerAmp Chrome extension and toggle on your offer summary, which is just in your SellerAmp backend right here. And that's going to show you the total number of offers and if there's any FBM sellers on this. There's no blanket rule in terms of what percentage of sellers you want to see being FBM versus compared to FBA. However, you definitely don't want to see 100% of them being FBA. So this is an example of a listing that is not FBM friendly right here. We can see it's only FBA sellers in this listing here. And then furthermore, if we go down here and hit data, and then buy box statistics, now we can see over the 30 and the 90 and the 180-day frame for this specific listing if there's been any FBM sellers in the buy box here. And we can see in this case, literally the entire time, it's always been FBA sellers that have this FBA checkbox here. So this shows this is not a listing that is FBM friendly, and almost certainly we would not be able to get the FBM buy box on this. But if we take a look at this listing right here, we can see right off the bat, the seller in the buy box is not an FBA seller, it's an FBM seller. It ships from the seller, not from Amazon right here. Taking a look at the seller amp offer summary right here as well, we can see it is absolutely dominated by FBM sellers as well. Like I said, the faster an item sells, you can have, 10% of the buy box be FBM, or, 5% of it if it sells really, really quick. If you want a hard number, look for 20% or more specifically. And then the slower an item sells, the more FBM buy box share you need to see, because there's less sales overall to go around. This is a good selling listing though. We'd see 405 rank, which is really, really good, for example, right here. And then we want to validate that further by going down here and hitting data and then buy box statistics right here, and make sure that there's sellers that are consistently getting buy box that don't have that FBA check mark right here, which we can see is totally the case. So that's how you tell. It's going to be the offer summary on SellerAmp and then the buy box statistics on Keepa, making sure you're seeing FBM sellers getting buy box and actually getting sales right there. All right, so calculating shipping and fees for both. So many beginners mess this up. Please take a look through this entire section and let me know any questions in the comments, specifically right here. This is super important stuff. All right, so we're here in settings on selleramp.com right here, and this is how you're going to actually calculate your estimated FBA shipping. So it would be super confusing if the profit calculator on SellerAmp didn't have this feature right here, but luckily you can just go in here for inbound shipping in your SellerAmp settings. You can just copy this URL, for example, and go ahead and plug in 80 cents per pound. And now that's going to automatically calculate that shipping in for the FBA profit calculator on SellerAmp right here. And that's all you have to do. Over time, you're going to figure out your specific shipping that you see for a lot of your shipments. But if you're a beginner, just go ahead and plug in 80 cents per pound to start. You also want to make sure you have your sales tax plugged in right here. That way you don't have to plug in sales tax manually and do a bunch of mental math in the SellerAmp profit calculator as well. And then also make sure you guys scroll down here and toggle on your offer summary as well down here, so you can go ahead and display the FBM friendliness right below the profit calculator on SellerAmp, like I just talked about. All right, guys, for calculating FBM shipping, it's a little bit more complicated, so I want to make sure everyone's on the same page with this stuff. So what a lot of beginners do to try to see the FBM numbers is they'll just go here on the profit calculator and then just subtract an estimated FBM shipping cost from the profit numbers here. That's absolutely incorrect. These are the FBA numbers right here that already have that estimated shipping involved that I just talked about. However, if we scroll down here, we can take a look at the FBM calculator and actually toggle this over to FBM. But what a lot of beginners do is they don't put in an FBM shipping cost right here, which is incorrect. You need to put in your estimated FBM shipping cost right here to take into account those exact numbers. So if we scroll up here, we can actually go here and see the weight of this specific product right here. We can see this weighs 14 ounces. And now we're going to know what to go ahead and plug in for the FBM numbers right here if you go ahead and write down what I'm about to show you. If you guys are loving the FBA versus FBM pros and cons tutorial and you want personalized one-on-one help directly from me, now's a great time to apply for my coaching program. You can take a look at the link in the description for my coaching program application. If it's something you're interested in, put in your information, go ahead and apply. We'll pop a whole bunch of our student results up here on screen. Looking forward to helping a ton of you guys get rocking and rolling, starting and scaling your Amazon businesses this year. So take a look at that if you're interested, and back to the video. So here's the shipping estimates you're going to want to use right here. So we can see 0 to 3 ounces, 3.5 to 4.5, 4 to 7 ounces, 4.5 to 5.5, 8 to 11 ounces right here, 12 to 15 right there. So make sure you guys take a picture of this and really just write it down, because you're going to need it for a ton of stuff this Q4 in respect to actually scrolling down, toggling over to the FBM calculator on SellerAmp and plugging in the estimated FBM shipping cost based on the weight that you see from the top of SellerAmp, just toggling over and seeing the weight right there. That's a huge mistake beginners make. Make sure that's not you guys. If you have any questions about this stuff, please let me know down below. All right, guys, supplies you need for each fulfillment type. This is super easy. For FBM, you're going to go ahead and need the shipping labels. You can actually get these for free from UPS if you just search UPS free shipping supplies, for example. You don't need any other fancy labels. If you have a decent amount of cash starting up, I would recommend getting a label printer. I'm a big fan of the Rollo one for example, right here, or the Polono that you can go ahead and get on Amazon right there. I started out using an old school printer because I didn't have much money when I got started though. And then you're also going to need 9x12 and 12x15 polymeros. You can just go ahead and get on Amazon specifically. Those are super cheap right there. So the printer, or you can use an old school printer, the labels, which you can get on Amazon, or you can get a bunch of free ones from UPS as well. And then the polymailers as well in 9x12 and 12x15. And then boxes from Uline or Walmart are going to be really helpful. You know exactly what you're selling, so you know the size you specifically need to get. But to be honest, don't sweat the small stuff, guys. Wait till you got some orders and go to your local Walmart and get the boxes that correspond. Just make sure there's no Walmart branding on them. They need to be branded generic specifically. And then shipping supplies for FBA, guys, you are going to need generic size clear poly bags you can go ahead and get on Amazon, and then big boxes to actually ship off in bulk you can go ahead and get at Walmart or Uline specifically. And then you're also going to need these FN SKU labels. You can go ahead and get those on Amazon if you just search Amazon FBA FN SKU labels, for example, right there. You do need to put those over the barcode or the poly bag specifically for FBA. You do not need to do that for FBM. Don't overcomplicate this stuff, guys. It's nice and easy. Now let's talk about how to actually list products for each fulfillment type. All right, guys, so listing products to sell on Amazon, both via FBM and FBA, used to be really confusing, and it's actually still really confusing via Amazon Seller Central. So that's why we made Boxum to make listing products for you much easier. So we're here in the Boxum dashboard, and I'm going to show you guys just how to list products specifically for each and how to price products, which is really important too. So I just went here in the Boxum application, which you go ahead and connect to your seller account. It's really easy to do, and you can try Boxum completely free for 2 weeks just on Boxum.com. It's $50 per month. After that, makes this whole process a lot easier. You guys are this late into the video. You're clearly serious about this stuff. So I just go ahead and hit list FBM right here, fulfillment type, merch fulfilled, ship from address. Right there, we can see shipping template, nice and easy. I have a video on merch filled to help you get your shipping templates set up. Autofill list price. So this is really helpful for FBA, but I'd actually recommend not having it on for FBM. You just want to match the buy box price that you see on Keepa for FBM right there. And then I also like having buy cost input, supplier input, date purchased input right there as well for custom SKUs here. So now we can see here's the Amazon search page right here. We can type in like Under Armour, for example, right here, and you can go and search. It's really, really quick, specifically in Boxum right there as well. Go ahead and put in an ASIN right here too. Then you can replenish SKUs in Boxum. You can list new SKUs in Boxum as well. You can list multiple products in the same batch right here. So we'll just go ahead and hit new SKU right here. Then we're going to go ahead to offers. We can see the different pricing. I'd recommend just matching buy box price specifically right here, not worrying about if it's FBA or FBM. Then we want to put in our buy cost. Say we paid 15 for this. Say we bought 10 units, for example, right there. Supplier, we can go ahead and hit our supplier right here. Just type in JCPenney, for example, right there. Go ahead and put our date purchased. Now we're going to see that custom SKU shows right here, so we can track where we actually bought that, what we actually bought it for right here. Then we just want to go ahead and hit create FBM listing right here, and we can finish off that batch and go ahead and submit this over to FBM, and then within a couple minutes, this is going to be live within our Amazon store. Listing FBM is super easy. Now let's talk about creating FBA shipments. To create FBA shipments, I just went to create shipment up here on Boxum. This one's a little bit more complicated specifically. So we can see name or shipment. We'll call it like October 31st. Q4 test, for example, right here. Shipment type, do FBA. Ship from, like I said, we can change that as we see fit right there. Shipping method, SPD. Hopefully you guys will be doing LTL, big body shipments soon as well, but most of you guys are going to get going just using SPD right here. I like to do case packed right here. Labeling preference, seller labels, box contents, 2D barcodes as well. I like using those 2D barcodes. And then print FBA labels as you prep and box them. That's actually a really helpful feature that other shipment softwares didn't have for whatever reason. So we went ahead and added it to Boxum. Right here, autofill list price for listing products via FBA. I do recommend pricing up just so you don't, tank the prices before your products are actually ready. And then once you see that your products are live on the listing with good delivery dates, then you're going to want to go ahead and match the buy box right there. Then we go ahead and do those custom SKU fields as well. So now we can go ahead and create shipment right here. We'll go ahead and plug in that ASIN, for example, right here. Boom, same deal. In this case, we actually don't want to set the price though, because it's automatically going to be here because we don't want to tank those prices right here. Buy cost, go ahead and put 15. Say we got 9 units. Go ahead here. Boom, right there. Supplier, we can go ahead and hit JCPenney, for example, right there. Custom SKUs, date purchase, let's say yesterday, for example, right there. Nice and easy. If there was an expiration date, you do need to add that in. This is obviously a clothing product, so that's not the case. You can do multiple products in one box. Other shipment softwares don't let you actually list new products on their platform, which is a massive waste of time, in my opinion. We made it so Boxum totally can, so you don't have to wait for the items to actually list in your Amazon store right there. Now we want to go ahead here. We can see, boom, there's those FN SKU labels right there. You can print those out, put those over the barcode or on the poly bag specifically right there. Then we want to go ahead and hit continue. We'll send this data off to Amazon right here as well. And then we can go ahead and hit confirm shipment right here. We can see this is where the shipment's going right here. Bada bing, boom, confirm shipment right here. Now we're in the prep and box them section. So on other shipment software, you have to do a bunch of like dragging and dropping around. Luckily, with bulk assign here on Boxem, you don't have to do that. Say units per box 9, total number of boxes 1 right here. We can go ahead and add in the dimensions right here, like the Walmart ones, which are right around this size, for example. That'd be pretty big for a shipment of this size, though, right here, but you guys get the idea. And customize that as you see fit. Boom, and now we go ahead and put that in. Now we can see those FBA box labels with the 2D barcodes right there. So we print those out. Those are going to go alongside the shipping labels we'll get here in a sec as well. Then we'll go ahead and hit continue right here, and we'll ship this off to Amazon specifically right here, send this data off right here, and then we'll head to the review and ship section right here in 1 sec. We can see now we're on step 4 here, and we can go ahead and hit accept shipping charges right here, and then we'll go ahead and print out those UPS labels right here. They'll go alongside the 2D barcodes right there as well, so we can get this guy up specifically right there. Boom, there it is for the actual shipping label to Amazon right there. I'm going to go ahead and void this because this is a test shipment, for example. But make sure you guys keep it simple and use Boxem for your FBA and FBA shipment needs. Hope this video is helpful, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know down below in the comments. Make sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. If you're interested in personalized help, take a look at the coaching program application link in the description. Take a look at this video for more free Amazon seller game. See you guys in the next one.